All right, we're rolling through the pushing the pile mock draft here. On to pick 19 with the Bucs. I got him going Malachi Starks, the Georgia safety, one of my favorite fits in this draft class because you're pairing him with Antoine Winfield Jr. Malachi Starks is one of the headiest, smartest, highest football IQs, whatever you want to call it, players in this draft class. The guy knows how to play ball, and he goes to pair with a safety who has all those green flags as well, all those intangibles. You get two of those guys in the back end, it's just going to be tough to generate explosive plays against this Bucs defense with that kind of duo roaming on the backside.
Okay, at number 20, I've got the Denver Broncos. Omarion Hampton, running back, University of North Carolina. First off, can we just tip our cap to that beautiful jersey? And then we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos, their offensive play style, the progression of Bo Nix, the things that I saw him doing from a mobility standpoint at the end of the year lends itself to really continuing to solidify that running game. And when I take a look at that offensive line, it's one of the best in football, not lauded as often as some of these groups like, Buffalo and Philadelphia, but they're up there. They got a great unit. Give them a running back like this Omarion Hampton gentleman, and Bo Nix gets better. The offense gets better. He'll be a fan favorite from the very beginning.
All right, on 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss QB. I know a lot of people want Shedeur. We haven't had Shedeur come off the board, but the arm strength is tipping the scales here towards Jackson Dart, in my opinion. Because now, if you're the New Orleans Saints and you play in a dome, you play in the South, I would have Shedeur over Dart. But this is the AFC North. You're outside 8 games a year. More than that. You're outside for all 8 of your home games, and then 6 more games in that division in the North.
Colorado
it's the
people
only
are writing you
division
emails
of football
saying
right
that
now.
We play outside too.
So, well, it ain't the same. You don't play in December though.
Yeah.
You do in the NFL. You play 4 of them. So Jackson Dart, to me, the arm strength tips the scales, and the reports are that they didn't love Shedeur, that they're not going to go Shedeur, and that they have a higher ground Dart. So let's see.
Jackson Dart, I love him. I saw him swing a golf club at Top Golf on the internet, on the interwebs one time, and I was like, sold. That guy's a winner. He swings the club at like Rory speed. I think he can
mobility.
Sling that football a little bit. Okay, so where are we now? Number
Chargers.
22, the Los Angeles Chargers, the artist formerly known as the Qualcomm Chargers. Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Ohio State. I've been practicing at calling games recently, and I did a fake practice game last week, and it was Chargers-Bengals. What a game that was, by the way. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and I just think about Justin Herbert and adding more weapons to his skill set. And obviously, Ladd McConkey is doing a great job. They got Palmer, they've got Johnston, a number of guys who can catch the football. Add this dude in there, and it gives you that true elite receiver ability, and then all the other guys become compliments, and Ladd McConkey will even further flourish. I just think it's a home run. Bring him to L.A., let him ride.
And Herbert has had so many problems with receivers just not being on the same page, being unreliable. Egbuka, as reliable as it gets in this draft class. All right, I got Shadé Barron going 23 to the Green Bay Packers. I get a number of different ways they could go here, but if he's on the board, it just feels like what they're missing in that cornerback group. Honestly, he feels like Jair Alexander. Like, I've seen comps to him. I don't think it's like a perfect one-to-one comp, but he plays with that same sort of tenacity, plays with that same sort of ferocity. Juice. Unbridled terror on the back end that he plays with, that he's going to still in wide receivers. And if you even keep Jair, keep him on the roster. Having 2 of those guys doesn't sound like a bad idea, in my opinion, if you're trying to win a championship and you're the Green Bay Packers. So Shadé Barron is the picker.
I just came up with a saying. You know what? You just throw a straw in that orange. That's just pure juice right there, son. That guy just goes, son. You like that back there? Okay.
I heard groans from the control room.
Okay. So 24, the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. I've often talked about 2 things that I'm reminded of with the Vikings. Scheme, because they have a brilliant coach, and skill, because they've got the dynamic superstar there in Justin Jefferson. They've got a number of guys who can really go. I want to add some brawn, okay? Gray Zabel, he gives you brawn, he gives you versatility. North Dakota State doesn't have to go very far, has to go past Fargo, I believe. I'd have to go reference a map, but I think Fargo is like that border that border area.
I'll take a look.
Gray Zabel. This is a guy from a small school that took the opportunity to go down to Mobile, Alabama and play in the Senior Bowl. Stop me when I'm wrong. He's a tackle. He played guard. He played center. He kicked ass at every single one of these positions against people from better schools with bigger enrollment. The guy's probably never made an NIL buck in his life. This may be the most hungry guy in the draft. I want him on my team. You can see by his picture in the bottom left, the lower third, as they say in the production room, that is a mustache. When he walks into the offensive line room and tells people that his name is Gray Zabel, he went to North Dakota State. He can play any position. And, oh, yeah, I've got the Doc Holliday mustache. I'd say you can sit next to me, my man, okay? Welcome.
3.5 hour drive down 94 in Minnesota to from Minneapolis to Fargo,
God,
where NDSU is. All right. Last pick here before we got to go to break. Texans going Walter Nolan, the Mississippi defensive tackle. I love this guy's tape. The missing piece. If you wanted to add one guy in this draft class to take this Texans defensive line from, very, very good to best in the NFL, this is the guy. He is a special, explosive defensive tackle, 3-technique sort of prospect that the sky really is as high for him as anyone in this defensive tackle class, but may fall down boards for one reason or the other, but he falls all the way to pick 25. A slam dunk, home run, whatever you want to call it, pick here for the Houston Texans. All right, picks 19 through 25. Bucs go Malachi Starks. Broncos, Omarion Hampton. Steelers grab Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss QB. Chargers, Emeka Egbuka. Packers get Jahdae Barron, Texas corner. Vikings get Gray Zabel, NDSU interior offensive alignment. And the Texans wrap it out with Walter Nolan, the Mississippi DT.